last presentation is to give a last presentation always a challenge after such a long day. Considering that some wine tasting is coming up all right after this, and I'm happy to see I'm happy to see that there's still so many of you left in the room. I expected to see just a couple of people sleeping in the room by the time my presentation comes up, and my presentation was. I wanted to have to give a presentation with a little pessimistic note, but the organizers told me I should not really do that, and so I changed the presentations and it up to be let's make Egri Bikavér great again. So why I was to have talked in a pessimistic manner about winery. So you see that there are less than the high category Bikavér wine productions decreased. This slide shows the now superior. There's an increase of 9% in the production of superior category Egri Bikavér wines. I don't know. This slide shows how prices of different products changed over the past 4 years, including like bread, eggs, and diesel. And luckily, the price of wines without geographic indication has decreased from 2016 to 2024. The price of like beer tripled in the past in this same period, and the price of Egri Bikavér grew by 25% in the same period. And obviously, if you decrease price, volumes will not go up. And if this change doesn't come, then you need to do something else. So we need some support for this community brand. We need marketing, and marketing will not work without a strategy. You cannot. You need a strategy to build a marketing program on, and you need money to develop a strategy. And if you don't have an objective, you cannot build and develop a strategy. MBH speakers, the bank speaker, made it clear that any strategy is better than not having a strategy at all. So as Seneca said, there's no good wind for someone who doesn't know which port to sail to. And we need to know which way we're going to go. And this system of objectives is what I love to see the stakeholders to come up with. And this is what I started working on about just 1 month ago. And I've been consulted so many people on this topic. And I'd like to share you with what I've come to so far and how I'm going to vote. This I won't be able to come up with a redemption with this one. There will be no revelations. All I can share with you is there's still a lot of work ahead of us. I'm going to put all this work into this. And so far, I've experienced a very excellent partnership with all those whom I approached on this. And Zoltán Demeter is just left the room. His seat is empty now. But I wanted to ask him the question that 15 years ago, when there was this roundtable discussion, and he was sitting one of the chairs around the round table, and he said that our grandfathers managed to make a living of growing grapes and making wine, and we should really think about why we cannot. And this was 15 years ago, and we still haven't been able to find out why ever since. But I'm sure that strengthening our community brand will contribute to this long-term goal. And this is what I'll try to focus on. So what are we talking about here? So let's have a look at how much Bikavér is being produced or can potentially be produced. So 2024, there's a theoretical thinking. If you have a yield of 8 metric tons per hectare, and then you if your wine is made up of 30% cake Frankfurt, then you cannot make more than 20 million bottles. So Chianti production a year is 100 million bottles, and let's not talk about Prosecco, like 1,000 billion bottles of Prosecco. So we're not even. It's a different ballpark altogether. So 8 metric tons per hectare. So the high yield for cake Frankfurt is 6 metric tons per hectare actually. 8 metric tons per hectare, as the average last year was 6.7 tons per hectare. If we increase the proportion of Bikavér to 50% in the blend and bring the yield down to 6 metric tons per hectare, we could only produce 8 million bottles a year. So if we can produce 8 million bottles a year, then we should try to go for 25 million, which is not a big figure. Of course, it's so this is what the process should look like. I'm not a winemaker. I haven't got a degree in winemaking. I'm an engineer. And Mr. Professor Kale is trying to bring myself into the community of winemakers, but I think with a background as an engineer, I can really help. So you have I have a very square-headed approach to these processes, and this is the knowledge and experience I have that I can help the community with, hopefully. So this is how I can contribute to this goal. So the process should be, and we already started doing this. We need a general health check. We have to do a current health check and to see where we are at the moment. And what part of this is how much we can produce in principle. If we can really identify the potentials, we can probably find wine regions that have similar capabilities, similar properties and characteristics, and are successful in the markets. And then we could really learn from the experiences gained in such other wine regions. When we've done this, then we have to set our goals for ourselves. And so this is going to provide a basic. So if there's an argument, we need to lay down these foundations. So basically, if a lot of us come together and we start arguing with each other, it would be great to have a basic foundation that we can come back to all the time. And when we have laid out these operative objectives and goals, then we can do a SWOT analysis. But we cannot analyze strengths and weaknesses until we have a goal ahead of us. And then you can develop a strategy and create a marketing mix, and then you can try to secure funds to spend on such marketing strategies, on implementing such strategies. A few more thoughts. Bikavér is a Hungaricum, a special product of Hungary. It's categorized as a Hungaricum. In Nyíregyháza, maybe no one even knows what Bikavér is like. Of course, we need to do some market research, obviously, to see wine consumption habits, how well Bikavér is known in the market, or what age groups consume Bikavér. We need to see this later. But there are some anomalies, and the Bikavér is a pull-in product. It's everywhere, and it's abroad and Hungary. So basically, Bikavér is basically sacrificed to bring in other types of wines into the supermarkets with a higher profit margin. That can produce higher profit margins. We don't want to be like this, but if that's the strategy, this could be a strategy, but someone should say that this is the strategy. It should be a pull-in product that pulls people into the supermarkets in order to make them buy more expensive wines than that. Bikavér can be priced at anywhere at from 800 Hungarian forints to 20,000 forints, and so. What and the question is always asked, what can a 800 forint Bikavér can do, and how good can it be compared to a 15,000 forint Bikavér? So this is something we need to look into, and also what is important that the brand of Eger as a town is stronger than as a wine region. So the town of Eger can't be left out. If you want to strengthen the wine region, Eger is the place. Eger is the town you have to focus on. But I don't know what Eger as a town has a strategy. It would be great for Eger, and Eger as a town should have a strategy, and then we could link up to that strategy of the town. But if there's no such strategy, then we have to push the leadership of the town to develop a strategy like that. And of course, wine should play an increasingly important role in this. If you want to do this kind of health check, it's very important to find out what the stakeholders have in mind. I've done lots of consultations already with stakeholders and winemakers, vineyard managers, etc. I'd love to talk to so many more people. For me, these discussions are a real experience because when you constructively start talking to people, when you're just arguing and people just saying, people normally just saying when you sit down with people and you start seriously talking about these things, then things come up that seem to be the same for everybody. So it's not a hopeless situation because we have the same things in our mind, but the problem is that we have these strong emotions related to these thoughts. But when I sit with someone face to face between two people, it's okay. When three people come together, it gets a little more hectic, and we have to look around in the field. You have to. There must be wine regions in Hungary and abroad. Like if you look at Chianti, may Chianti be similar to Eger, and there may be wine regions which are lesser known or up-and-coming wine regions that are already successful. I talked to Attila Petrény, and I'm sure we need to bring other people in who are aware of what other wine regions do in this respect, and if there will be some questions that we're going to bring up, and we have to have a look into how these other wine regions solve these problems, the same problems that we face here in Eger. So in Chianti, they can produce 100 million bottles a year, and people will make a living off wine. And if you've been to Tuscany, and these are not 100-hectare or 1,000-hectare vineyards. It costs a lot to grow grapes in Tuscany. These vineyards they're scattered on small hills all over the place, and you need benchmarking. If you cannot come up with something, if we don't have to Hungarianize the thing. We don't have to come up with something new. Someone may have already found a solution to the same problems we have. We need to find those solutions that are already out there. And we need to really find, to lay down the basic foundation for everything that we can always go back to. And one thing, the goals we lay out should be something that everybody can accept, and we should come together and really put it down on paper and then sign it. And we should not argue with this every year that, oh, I have a different idea about this now. I don't think that would be efficient. Once we agree on something, we should put it on paper and sign it and then accept it, and that should be the foundation for everything else. And from when we can use those foundation to set short-term objectives as well, and everybody should benefit from the production chain if they produce Bikavér. They should benefit from producing Bikavér. This should be a benefit. Could be prestige or yield security. Maybe you can sell your grapes for Bikavér production. Maybe you cannot sell it if the grapes are not used for Bikavér production. So all the grape growers, winemakers should benefit from making Bikavér and helping Bikavér being made. And if the goals that it's a wrong goal, if it's not, it doesn't serve the benefit to everybody. Some growers may have to change up the machines they use in the vineyard. They have to. Growers must be given time to introduce new cultivation methods, different training methods, etc. You need time, so you need a transitional period, basically. So it shouldn't be just la pour la, the whole thing. I think the regulations in the wine region in general for Egri wines is very well developed. So it provides a good basis, and we should not create goals that just la pour la, and they really don't help us. We shouldn't lay down rules that otherwise doesn't make sense. Some of the objectives that we could potentially set for ourselves for short-term, mid-term, and long-term. When people ask the question Egri Bikavér, we should be able to give a one-sentence answer. What this single sentence should be? Will everybody say this same sentence when asked about what Bikavér is? It's a blend of cake Frankos. Maybe this could be like that. But we should really create a definition, and this should be the answer given to everybody who asks this question. What is the Bikavér like? How it should be positioned? We have this huge price difference between different Bikavér. So can it be the best value wine in every price category? Maybe it's a 800 forint wine and it's still a good wine. Then buyers could be the best kind of wine in that kind of low price product category as well. We could go that way, and then a lot comes from this. Then you have to do quality control, and if you how are we gonna control the quality? How are we going to prove that a 5,000 forint or a 20,000 Bikavér is the best in the world? If you look at the wines of a similar category, and some wine is just €4 a bottle, the other is €400 a bottle, and if they win the same awards at international competitions, then of course they are in the same quality category. Of course, I already mentioned that the Egri as a brand is more powerful than the wine region itself. Do we want to control the production, total production, from 8 million to 25 million? Do we want to reduce the whole total production? So maybe we can bring down the maximum allowable yield to 6 tons per hectare, and then we cannot produce more than 8 million bottles, and then we can prevent overproduction, or maybe we should let overproduction happen. This is a very important decision we need to make. Which way to go? If you want to build a brand, if you develop a brand, if you want to develop a brand like Mercedes, making Mercedes accessible to everybody, that's not a good thing. Maybe it will be good for us. We don't know. But if we think this way, then we need to give growers time to get prepared for this. That it will limit the production volumes. So the great thing about Bikavér is that you can very easily regulate the total production through the regulation of cake Frankos production. Bottling only within the wine region. This could be another limitation, and many people don't understand why Bikavér can be bottled outside of the Egri region. If we introduce this new limitation, then we have to give growers and producers the opportunity to make the change and bring their bottling within the boundaries of the wine region. So it should be beneficial to the grape growers as well. So we need to find a balance, because normally the grape growers suffer when the price of wine cannot be increased, and then the price of grapes drops, and then grape growers should be respected more. They should be given more respect, and they should not be forced to produce grapes with a loss, or just to get break even. They should have a future goal ahead of them. They should really hope for. So who's gonna replant vineyards when the price of grapes is so low? No one will do that at this level of grape prices. And it should be sustainability, sustainable sources. It can be 10 million forints, 100 million forints. You need some money to implement a strategy like that. We shouldn't just hope for funds come to us. Bring all the money here from the National Wine Marketing Fund. This may happen in the fall, but you cannot wait for funds come to us from outside. If we have a strategy, we need to add funds to that. And we shouldn't try to rely on external sources of money. We have to put this money together ourselves, and then we can build a strategy. And this is where you need to involve some marketing professionals, what parameters we want to achieve. And this can be simple. We don't need to spend too much time on working on a huge strategy. We know that any strategy is better than no strategy, and we need to start somewhere, and then we can develop further in the future. And everybody should be involved. And this is something that you can watch happening from outside, but everybody should really stand behind this and do something and act and take action in this regard. We should at least stop fighting each other. We know winemakers. They also have disagreement between each other, but you never see this. We're not that bad in this respect either, I think. So communication is very important. What a problem I think lies is that we don't communicate well enough. We don't communicate with each other well enough. And there are good things in everybody's mind, but somehow we cannot share it clearly with each other. And you become very sensitive when someone else says something different from what you think. And the way we think, and this is something that I think we can all say, is that we need to experience this in a different way. The research into the Saint Grail is not about finding the Grail, but it's all about the spiritual experience that this brings to you. The strategy is an experience, and we should really think of it as a great experience, and we should not think of it as a potential source of disagreement between us and arguments back and forth. But we really need to put the work in there. And let me use a quote at the end. I've heard this a long time ago. This is a quote from Thomas Babington Macaulay, and it goes like this: "And how can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods?" So we can rephrase this thought by saying, how can we die better than facing fearful odds for the future of our father's wine and the future of the worthy future of this great wine? This is the. Thank you very much for your attention.